bypassed. That is something right there. That is clean but smooth. Okay, so I matched Sand 3 to Green5 Ultra. Or actually, I matched Green5 Ultra to Sand. The reason I did that is because I'm very impressed by the way this sounds already. And I wanted to see how the curves could be equal or not. It looks like it's a possibility that it's close enough. Anyway, let's get into the controls here. The more difficult to understand controls. First of all, up here, we have a mid-side button in the center here. And what that does is it turns the left side into the mid. And if you don't know what the mid is just the mono material, the stuff that is straight up the pan. Snares, lead vocals, kick drum, things like that. So if you're using this on a master where you only have a stereo track, it comes in handy to have the mid side be separated. Now the side is anything that's not mono, and the controls for that then go on the right side, and you want to make sure that the control link, which is down here, is depressed, because otherwise, check this out, your controls are linked if control link is on, and if control link is off, see, the controls are not linked anymore. Makes sense, right? The left and right controls. Now that's not true for the pan knob, the spread, and there's one more that does not equate to. But next up we have this control. It says MET off. I'm skipping the ones that are pretty easy to understand. Pre means preamp. Preamp on, it's closer to the hardware. Anyway, MET off is the meters. See how they're disabled now? And then over here, we have INT, which stands for integrated loudness. That's what the meter will now be. MMT, this button, stands for momentary loudness. Integrated loudness. And that affects the meter down here, the LU meter, the loudness units meter. And then finally, SRT stands for short-term loudness. And these are all based off of EBU 128 standards, R128 standards. RES down here, I thought it stood for resolution. No, it's reset. Reset these meters, especially this one over here. And then we also have phase reverse buttons. And these are sometimes hard to miss or hard to see because it's such a tiny little control. But this is the low shelf button. And up here is the high shelf button. And it changes your high and your low to be shelving filters instead of peak filters. In the bottom right corner, we have our different listening modes. LR is a standard left-right, just normal processing. M, we're only hearing the mid processing, so that's handy when we have the MS enabled. I just disabled it, by the way. And then S stands for sides, so again, we're only listening to the side information. The mono information is not in the signal. And then finally, the delta control. It shows us the difference between the processed signal and the unprocessed signal. Under the different modes here, we have hyper equalizer, which is like the standard Acustica audio hardware sampling. Underneath that is a lower CPU consumption mode. And the main difference is there can be possible phasing artifacts. And just the same with the hyper EQ mode. When they sample hardware and they only sample the different frequencies, for example, anything in between that isn't 100% accurate. And that's what these other modes are for, Hyper EQ Digital and Digital 2X. When you're in those modes, the interpolated frequencies are more accurate. Also, the gain range is more accurate. Now let's go on to the mono EQ mode, and that is where we have the brand new frequency graph that you can actually drag the nodes of. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. And I like how the knobs move at the same time as this. So as we go, and I'll even do a little mouse wheel scroll as I'm moving it. Actually, that's too much for it. So I'll do it right here. Making the width, making the Q wider or narrower. By the way, if you ever forget which number is wider, now obviously down here we have a setting that we can see when it gets narrower. Wait, why is it not doing anything? Is it messing up already? This is like version 1, so let me see something here, guys. All right, I'm gonna have to restart this then. Okay, let's see if it works this time. There we go. That's what I wanted it to do. What happened was, I think when I was moving this around and I also moved the scroll wheel, you see how it messed it up? Wait, it's still working. I don't know why I messed up earlier. The way you remember the Q setting is that the higher the quality of an EQ filter, the larger the number. So if you look carefully, it says 0.4 and then 1, then 2, 3, and 4. So obviously the lower number is going to be the width. Okay? Now that's only on hardware. Software might be different, but like I said, the beautiful thing is we don't have to rely on our memory now. We can just see it down here in the graph, and that is an awesome thing. The cool thing about the Green5 EQ is that it actually works in parallel. It is a parallel topology, meaning that as you move your different frequency bands, they all, it's, best way to put it is, it's similar to the way a Manley massive passive equalizer works, or how a Pultec equalizer works. Everything is combined instead of being in series, and so it's a more natural sound. If you already have enough equalizers in your toolkit, you may not need this one, but man, I am so jealous of you guys who are just getting started, or maybe you're not happy with the plugins you already have. You guys have some awesome tools to check out. This one, if you're trying to do some kind of mastering, it's really perfect. I mean, this is like, you know, this is like one of the big guns in the mastering engineer's toolkit. And this is just one part of the plugin. This Green also comes with a compressor, which I'll be messing with. I really don't like to. It's not that I don't like to. I just don't usually use the Acustica compressors because I didn't used to use them. You know, for the longest time, I just wasn't really happy with them. But you know, ever since I would say around the time Tiger came out, I've been really happy with the way they've sounded. Plus, the CPU is a lot less than their compressors used to be. So, you know, I'll probably dig into this one. It's a little on the complicated side, but, you know, I'll probably get used to it. You don't have to touch every single control, you know. And the cool thing is they do have a little visualizer there, which is kind of neat. But, I don't know why that says fast right there. Oh, you know what? This might be a 2-part compressor or something. Huh. That's interesting. A 2-stage compressor. I'll have to look into what this hardware is that this is sampled from. But anyway, thank you all for watching. This has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com. If the video was helpful in some way, hit the thumbs up button. And if you tried Green5 out for yourself, I want to know what you think about it in the comments below. See ya.